Okay, so again, like I said, this negative indicates that this power is a negative power. So it doesn't matter in this question what the exponent is, because there's no bracket, it's a negative 2 to the power of 3. So whatever your answer is, it's going to be negative.
Yeah.
Does that make sense for that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at B.
That one's negative.
Good.
Because
How do you know it's negative?
my teacher's...
Good. So for this one, you can just look at the exponent. You don't even have to calculate it.
Yeah.
And because it's an odd number, if the exponent's an odd number, it's always going to be a negative answer. Because you're multiplying the base by itself an odd number of times. So think about it. We have a negative times a negative times a negative.
So that one becomes positive.
Exactly. And then a positive times a negative will always be
Negative.
a negative. If it's an even number, well, even numbers are 2, 4, 6, right? Any groups of 2, a negative and a negative grouped together will always give us a positive. So good, I'm glad you learned about the exponent rule. So for this question, we have a negative and then negative 2 to the power of 3. So we have to do this first. So we keep this negative, and then we actually have to calculate negative 2 to the power of 3 would be negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, but we know that anything to, if the exponent is an odd number, it's going to be negative, good.
Negative.
So we have a negative, and then we have a negative 8, good. And then a negative times a negative equals a positive.
Oh,
So the
that's
answer is positive. We didn't actually have to calculate these, but I'm just showing you how you would figure out if the answer is positive or negative.
So you do...
Good. So how do you know that's negative?
Because there's no bracket.
There's no bracket.
2.
Excellent. So we know that it's a negative power. It's negative 2 to the power of 4. Well, what is 2 to the power of 4?
16.
So 2 to the power of 4 is 16, but it's a negative because there was a negative in front of it. If I did this, let me change the question. Negative, sorry. And then if I did this, actually wait, hold on. Let's do this. Can you figure this one out? So we would have negative outside the bracket, and then we're going to simplify what's in the bracket. Well, we already did that here. We did negative 2 to the power of 4 over there. What is it?
It's negative 16.
Good. So then our final answer would be a negative times a negative is a positive 16. Okay? Good. So we keep the negative here, and you simplified this first. How do you know that that's positive 16?
Because the 4 is outside of the bracket.
Mm-hmm. The exponent. And it's everything. It's negative 2 is the base, so it's negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, and because it's an even number, positive, negative, negative is a positive, negative, negative is a positive, so it's a positive. So the final answer, we can't forget about this negative, is
negative.
negative 16. So the answer to E is negative.